Okay, ladies, so parenting. What it is? Well, I mean, to get the topic started off, I have 5 boys that spent the night with me last night. And so I'm just wondering, do people, how well do, or how often, or how much importance do parents, because I don't have children, but I interact with them all the time, but I'm saying, how much stress do we as parents put on our children to say good morning, or to speak to adults when they come in contact with them, or to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, or you know, instead of saying what when somebody calls them, to say yes ma'am or no ma'am. How much stress do we put on that, and do we enforce it?
Here's the trick, and we trick ourselves. We tell our kids, don't talk to strangers, don't speak to anybody that you don't know, but then when we see somebody on the street that is a friend of ours, and they say hello to our child is saying, I don't know this person. Why do you want me to speak to this person? They're a stranger to me. So you have those battles with their minds, because you're teaching them to be friendly, to be cordial, to be respectful, but then you say don't speak to strangers. So there's a confusion right there. The other thing is, you know, when we want to tell our kids, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and then we let some slip by when they don't say that, then they say, well, sometimes she says it's okay to say it, and sometimes I can get away with not saying it. So they play a lot of games with us, because, you know, they've been in our womb for 10 months, so they know how to work our emotions. And at the same time, they're going to try and take advantage if they can. Since, you know, a baby, they will try and take advantage. If they can get away with it that one time, they're good to go. But, you know, as far as with the saying hello, you have to be careful with that, because we tell them one thing and then they're thinking, well, she just told me don't speak to strangers. I don't know these people.
Well, I think maybe like what she probably meant was, say for instance, you and the boys come over to my house. We greet each other, and the boys just walk on past.
They need to be checked immediately.
And that's what I think. That's kind of what she was saying. Of course, we tell them our children don't speak to strangers on the streets, but you know, you go into our friend's house. I'm taking you over to my friend's house. You know, you speak. I think that's what, you know, what she was talking about. You know, of course, we don't want them talking to strangers, but I think there's a difference, and I think the children do know a difference. And we need to understand the children will play on you. They will play on you because they know what button to push, and they'll say, oh, let me see how far I can get. Oh, let me try this, let me try that. And then each time they'll go a little bit further. And then two, we say, oh, the children have changed, the children have changed. The children have not changed. The parenting skills have changed.
Right.
When I was growing up, grandmother cooked breakfast. I don't care what it was, I ate it. She cooked dinner. I don't care what it was, I ate it. You know, now it's like,
and if you didn't want to eat, you still had to come to the table.
Oh, you still, and you had to eat that food. You had to eat it. Yeah. I don't know if you still had to come to the table, and you still had to eat. I remember one time, I guess that's the reason why I don't like oatmeal today. Growing up, you know, they had the Quaker oats, you know, when the, you know, you have to boil that water, and I want to put some sugar in it. A little sugar, you know. My grandma said, that's enough sugar. And then she turned her back, and I'm like, how could she know I scooped out the thing? She heard, boy, I got popped upside the head so hard with that. You know, it's because today we give them too many choices. We give our children too many choices. That's just my
What you want to eat, baby? We didn't get asked what you want to eat.
And then you have to go worry about, oh, what if they want something to eat that grandma cooked and you don't know how to fix that? Then what you gonna do?
Oh, I get that. Grandma don't cook it like that. You ain't at grandma's house.
Yeah.
I get
I'm
the
the
same
mother.
thing. It's not juicy like grandma fix it.
Okay.
Have me compete with my mother.
So what do you do when your children say that? When they say it's not juicy like grandma fixed it, or it ain't like grandma fixed it, what is that? Because I mean, the reason why I said that is because we could not have said that to our
You wouldn't
parents.
even say that.
I would not been able to say this is not how grandma could get without some form of discipline. That was considered disrespect for me to say that
We give them
to
too
an
much
adult.
freedom to be free because, well, you know, when our parents said, stay out of grown folks' business,
Oh,
or who you think you're talking to. But, you know, as a parent, I took that from my mother as, well, I'm expressing to you how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So in turn, with my kids, I don't necessarily say who you think you're talking to. Sometimes I do, but I always put myself in their shoes because they're basically feeling like they're expressing themselves because we tell them, be independent and express yourself, say what you mean. But then when they hit us with that stuff, we don't like it because we don't want you to, we don't want you to give it to us.
But there's a way for you to be respectful and to express yourselves to your parents.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
The way that you talk to, your friends, your sisters, or anybody else, you would not talk to your parents that same way. There's a different type of respect level there. So there's a way to express yourself and be respectful at the same time.
In what way is that? How do we teach our kids the difference between not being able to express yourself and being able to express yourself in a respectful way to your parents? What do we say to them to get them to do that? Because that's the issue that a lot of parents
very
face.
careful with that.
Because some parents feel like when they discipline their kids or when they are teaching their kids how to be respectful, in some parents' mind, what they're doing is being mean to their child or, abusing their child. But then there also has to be a balance because if you don't discipline your child, they just go out of control. And then in society, they become misfits. So what, for ourselves and to our WomenLOL membership, how do we address keeping that balance of disciplining our children and also not taking away, I guess, their voice of expression? Because it is important that kids be able to express their anger and not hold it in, or their sadness and not hold it in. But it's just as important that they respect. So
I think it's a level of communication that you have to establish with your child. Once you and your child start communicating and y'all learn each other, then the child will know how far to go and how far not to go. Just say, like for me, for instance, with my daughter, she will try and try and try. But when I tell her a certain thing in a certain way, okay, then she'll go ahead and straighten up. But the most important part about the communication without them feeling like they can't voice their opinion is sitting them down, talking with them, like, I have teenagers, and I have to talk to my teenagers like they're young adults. I can't talk to them like they're kids anymore. I sit down and have a talk with them and let them know that they have to be a responsible part of this family. Okay, I'm the mother and you're the daughter. So you have to step up and be responsible as a daughter and do the things that you need to do to be successful. So that's what, I mainly do. I talk to my children like, I want to be talked to. As far as communicating, because I have teenagers. And teenagers, are different from children that's, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's just, not.
Well, I have a take on that. I do think that communication is a very important part because, I have a 9-year-old and it's a girl. So therefore, the times are different with them growing up because they're learning different things at school. And I can let her know that I can be your friend, but first I'm your mother. So therefore you will respect me. And we have problems and things that we go through. So what I try to do in order, you have a right to talk to me because I'm your mother if you have a problem, because I know how I felt when I was growing up with my mother telling me things. I thought she was hating on me, didn't want me to do things because of certain things, but in reality it was for protection. So what I did is I created her a angry book. So anytime she's angry, she can go in there and write that down.
Wow, I
With
think
that
that's a
date,
really good idea.
with that date saying what I made you angry about and what was going on. So at a later date, you can come back and
Right.
see, okay, really, my mom wasn't being mean for
Right.
this. So this is your book that you're going to have,
Right.
you know, for the rest of your life. So anytime you're upset, you know, you talk to me about it. If anything's going on at school or someone is making you feel uncomfortable, please let me know. Because even if I do that, you know what I'm saying, you need to tell someone else that I'm mistreating you or abusing you, you know. But as far as, I mean, I try to have the communication line open, whereas you can talk to me, I can talk to you, but you will respect me as your mother.